Woohoo! You did it! That reminds me. I do wonder. Where is it? Not there. Is it there? Maybe? Nope. Yes. Here? Pre-made border? Is that what I want? Maybe. That's what we're currently using. That's basically the same as what we're currently using. That is, again, no. Basically the same. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Hmm. I'm looking at. Thank you. Might be another one in a second. I feel like I'm very small, and I was talking to someone. They feel like I'm very small. So, give me a second. What happens if I'm in front? Because I still don't want to block the game. We could do it where I'm up here and Chad is down there. Do you prefer seeing this much of me? Is it weird that I'm just standing here? Or I could be like here? How do you feel about that? What do you think? I just don't want to block too much of the game. Or I could put my human disguise on. And now I'm super big. Me down here? And then I don't think I'm blocking too much of the game. And I can move chat up a little bit. How do we feel about this? I need to move myself here. Yeah, what do you think about this? I know I'm not in my little bubble. Is good? Am I too big? Is my wing gonna block too much of the game? I can always make the game a little smaller. Also, I know we decided Spotify over game audio for Stardew, but what do you think about Blueprints? Cause I don't want to have both audios playing at the same time, but I feel like Blueprints like it's more voice acted, you know? So I don't know if it's worth just doing Blueprints audio. Yeah, we could do that. Well, it's not silent. It'll either be Spotify or Blueprints. Oh, so it's just volume in general, not music versus. Give me a second. Nope. Yeah. Yeah, it's just volume in general. It's not. So either we have. Hi, Twitching. Either we have very low volume for everything, or no volume, or we just do Blueprints over Spotify. I'll put it on low volume now, and if we feel like we miss out on too much stuff, we can always change it. But now I'm big! Wow! What do you think? Can you see more of my outfit? Let me change this slightly too. Woohoo! I don't know that we're gonna do a super long stream tonight just because I'm a little bit tired, to be honest. But I still wanted to hang out with you guys. Let me completely for him your way. Is he okay? How is the volume versus Blueprints audio? Is it less distracting now, or what's the word? Like too many things going on at once. Overwhelming! That was the word I was looking for. I still feel like I can hear it kind of loud. Maybe not. For him, I Okay, good. Baby, where the hell is my husband? What's taking him so long to find me? Oh, baby. Get now with another. Tell him if you see him, baby. If you see him, tell him she should holla. Okay. What is that? Oh, right. We still haven't figured out the... Is it the pool thing? It must be the pool thing. But I don't really have any clues to the pool. We drained it to a bunch of different levels. We have the chests in there now. Hi, welcome. Find me, oh baby. Get now another. What do I want? I would like a ring, I would like a diamond ring on my wedding finger. I would like a big and tiny. Pim, look how big I am. Is my husband. And there's still an outside door we haven't opened. Classroom. Let's do it. In another life, I will be waiting to hold you tight. You and me in another life, I'll be waiting tight. You and me in another life, I'll be waiting. Back to you, telling myself it can't be over. That's not bad. In another life, I will be waiting. You and me in another life, I'll be waiting, waiting to hold you tight. You and me in another life. Telling myself it can't be over. And everything. You and me in another life. Can't be over. You and me in another life. I'll be waiting. So, if this is true, then this is a lie. Oh, maybe not. Okay, let's do a what if. If two of the top statements are true, then this is one of them. And then this is the other one. So the gem would have to either be in this one or in this one. If this is true, then both of these are false. Which means the gem would be in a box with a false, so it would either be in this one or this one still. One of them has to be true, so it has to be in one of these two. If only one bottom statement is true, then this one has to be true. So regardless, this bottom statement is false, which means it has to be in this one. Wow, we really logicked that one together. I'm proud of us. Rest of our life and one with a heart would agree. It's so easy. I turn this on. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Good job! Claps for everyone. I kind of want to go through here. Easy to fall in love. Call into eyes. Perfect mix of rest of your life and one with a heart would agree. They're both bad. Okay, okay. Yep. Very good. Mm-hmm. We should get a shovel. A salt shaker's good. Oh, we can get them all. And then we don't have to come back here. Perfect. Wow, a boot! That's a gift for one of you, but I won't tell you which one. Someone's getting an old boot. Let's do that one. Oh, no gem for us today there. Run from the sun like Dracula. There might be gems in there. like me. Well, none of these are fantastic. I don't really want to go all the way around again, so here we are. Oh no, you guys. Not good. Nope. I was hoping we'd get a key card. Come on, key card. Nope. Oh no. It's not good. We're trapped. It's okay. I know. That was just the warm up, everybody. Don't worry. We're gonna solve the entire rest of the game today, okay, everyone? We got this. Why you always come a running? I don't even remember what we're supposed to be doing at the moment. I know we still gotta do the classrooms. How can I revive the earth so long? I choose to blame your mom. Why you always come running at me? Half your brain, it ain't there. Man, child. Yeah. And then we'll put something with a dead end here. Or, alternatively, I want to do the classroom. I'm not choosing them, amen. Not bad. Is there anything in here for us? We're not doing fantastic on the whole not boxing ourselves in thing. We have a key card though. Okay, okay, alright. I gotta do this one because then there's more room for whatever rooms we have next. It's not great. It's not fantastic. We do not have money. I'm gonna wait. Okay. Is it worth breaking this? Potentially. I want to keep that on. Only one box next to this box is false and contains the gems. Only one box next to this box is false and it contains the gems. Only one box next to this box is false and contains the gems. Ooh, okay, okay, okay. Which means this is false. I think? Yeah. Yeah. Changing it only because I don't know if there's any way to lose your card. And if there is, and I do, okay. Yeah, yeah, that would be the smart thing to do. Am I gonna do the smart thing though? Absolutely not. No. But, actually, alternatively, instead, as well, additionally, also, I'm not even about you. What a beautiful thing. Don't mind me just breaking into my own house. I'm not even about you. Now the brains in my head say that these are both locked. But never mind, the brains are working. I'm not about you. Okay. Okay. Alright, now we've run into a little bit of a problem. That's locked, that's locked, that's locked, that's locked. That's locked. You know, that would have been a smart choice. Oops. You know, at the start of the stream when I said I'm a bit tired today? Case in point. And now you guys know to take my word for things. So cool. Oh wow, guys. It's our first day of the stream. Look at this fresh new thing. Have to warn ya. Wow, free stuff, perfect for our first day on the job. So cool. Yeah. Oh. Bada bada bam, bada bada bam, bada bada bam, bada bada bam. Bada bada bam, bam, bada bam, bada. Don't you know the feeling? Oh, but you think that she's so cool. That's not bad. Too. Ba- 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 da- da- da. You. Uh-oh. I got the shovel, right? Yeah. Yeah. No other ones? What the heck? Look at me, I'm resource gathering. These feel like you should be able to like pull on them or something. Where you secret passageway opens up. Aren't you glad I didn't say banana? We could really use some more of everything. Let's do that. There are two statements on this box. That's a lie. There are two statements on this box. That's the truth. The gems are in a box with no true statements. Okay. There are two statements on this box. They are both false. So we got one box true, one true and one false. One false. So if this is false, then the gem could be in either of these boxes. So it has to be true. Yeah. Yeah. We don't have many green rooms yet, just the one. I need to gather more resources. If I just don't click on it, does it mean it doesn't apply? My dear, in a miracles. Hi, Cayenne. We are out of resources. Kinda have to, right? I am. I hope you're doing well. Okay. This is not bad. This is not a bad haul. Two keys? We could do better. We could reroll. That's dangerous. it's a bad idea, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay. I'm doing this one. Am I doing this one? Oh, I can still see your face. Oh, I get away without me. Oh, could do that. I could definitely theoretically do that. I should do that. Yes. Oh, I can still see your face. Oh, without me. Let's do that. It's not ideal. I might as well do that one. I never felt this way. Walking away. Disco cowgirl. Without me. Let's do that. Nothing in here today. Boudoir is here. Nom 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 nom. Ah, I missed one. Everybody. Oh, I can't do that. Okay. Face card, no cash, no credit. I feel like I haven't learned much today so far. Which is not my favorite thing in the world. Ever get lonely? I'll be like one of your girls. In my heart. If you ever get lonely. There was a room in there with clocks, right? Oh, it's still closed. Okay. Time is it now? It's backwards. I think it's at 1 or something, right? Yeah. Like 1:30. Wow. Ah! Ah! Which way do we go? Nope. Where do we go? Where do we go? Oh no! I'm gonna have to go to the foundation. I don't have time. I don't have time to get there. This is a waste. Oh no, 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 no. There's no way I could have gotten there. Okay, I just need to breathe. Now we know for next time. We've learned information we didn't previously have, which is good. And we need to go there anyway. Yeah, we couldn't have got there quick enough. But I don't think we'll need to. It's so low down. I don't think we'll need to use keys, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it wouldn't have done anything for us. Ooh, that's only exciting because we've never had that before. But it doesn't do much for me. This one will give me keys. Here. It's a lot of keys. Heaps of keys. Holy. Yes. Okay. I don't know if I've ever had that many keys at once. You know, hold them. Lay your cards down, 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 down. Do I open it while I'm here? Me as well. I'll be damned if I can't soul dance with you. It's a real life, but it's a real life showdown. There's a tornado in my city. Ragged whiskey. Ba-da-ba-da-bum-ba-da-ba. Ooh. 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 No, hold up. We are running a little bit low on steps. But I feel like when I open the secret garden, or we'll have access to what's it called? This is not the right way. Yes, it is. We will have. I'm lost. No, I'm not. We'll have access to the dining room, the meal. Is that coming? Yes. So that's good, and then it spreads fruit, right? Pretty sure. Ba-da-ba-da-bum-ba-da-bum. Ooh, nothing. A coin. Turnip. A king. A regular king. Keeping that on. Ba-da-ba-da, ba-da-ba-da, bum. Okay. Jam. Take. Ooh. More like that, please. It's a matching boot. Ba-da-ba-da. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Hi, random. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Rabia. as well. Might as well do this one. They're not leading anywhere. Rabia. Apple. That was so close. Do we get number 5? No. I thought we bought it. No, we did. We bought this one. Wow, we made it. Keys do we have? Oh, oh, I did not mean to do that for all of them, but here we are. It's okay, there's not many rooms left. Oh no, I gotta do math. I already said I'm tired. Okay, we can do this. 20 plus minus a third of 20 minus a third of 10. What the heck? Okay. What if it was 20 plus 10 and a third and it's 10, you know? Yeah. Okay. So 15 backwards, 20. Okay. None of this is making sense so far. No, not at all. That didn't make any sense. So, I don't remember which direction is which. Let's assume it's square. That would make more sense. If it was 25 or minus? No, it would be plus 25. Minus 20 is 5 times 5 divided by 5. 5? Okay. A third of 1. So is that 2 then? 2 minus 2 is 0. Plus 1 is 1. Holy. I'm tired today. That one was tricking. Thank you. Be this way. Reckless fever. Quite the job you've done on me, sir. Actually, should we do this? We've not done that one before. Like a high school movie. Running to me. It's gonna go off, isn't it? Yup. Doesn't matter. That's the end of the road for today. I kinda wanna see what the driveway looks like though. Whoa. Oh, I need to go back outside, don't I? Did the whole thing. Or a nightmare. You're not who you say you are. 'Cause I might give her a call. Okay, let's see the dirt. There's only 3 piles. It happened. You know what I should be doing? How far away is that? Too far for me to bother today. But maybe. Yeah, we'll do another day. How will I even get there? And the song is about you. I don't think that's open. No, it's not. Don't you know you're not who you say you are? 'Cause I might give her a call. If I have a bunch of money left over at the end of the day and I'm near the chapel, I should just walk in and out and put money in the piggy bank. We're really getting through these days quickly when I'm not with That's a lot. It's a lot of them. I think it's time for tea. Yeah, that's true. It's tea time. I'll be back. Hi, Jayla. We're just having a tea break. Okay. The goal today is to learn something. I don't care what it is. We just gotta learn something. Everybody, pay attention. Shine, golden hour. Also, Jaylat, if you're still here, what do you think of me being a bit bigger? I don't know if I want any of these. Of my life. Of my life. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. To see you shine, it's our golden hour. Oh, that's good, but it's expensive. But if we get a really high cost one, that could be very good. Oh. Let's do that. In the room directory. Which one do we want? There we go. Oh, I don't know. Two, two. That's big. But then once we get to number 8, then does it make it not worth it, you know? Let's see, archives, nothing. Out of my element. 1. I don't do the showroom so much. I do like green rooms. I thought that you were telling the truth. I do like the courtyard. I really would. I do like the cloister, but we don't get it that often. I do like the passageway. Okay. Really would. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. That's a lot of gems, but we don't really do that one. I think either I do it from the courtyard, Or I do it from the classroom. But once I do get to 8 for the classroom, well, but I don't know what's in me. Maybe 8 is something fantastic, you know? I'm doing the courtyard. Unusual. Maybe we gotta change that. Yeah, look how many times I've drafted that. Next! You're right. Oh, look, a free room. Talk. I don't have the thing. It's too standard. Hmm. Not a lot of options. I could have done a dead end for that one, and we would have been in much the same position. I probably should have bought the shovel, but I didn't. Yikes. Hot. Let's do this one. I'm also very curious that we still haven't found like the ring of the 3 of the safes. Both statements on the blue box are true. The second statement on the black box is false. The black box contains the gems. Every statement with the word blue is false, which would mean this would be false. So this is false. Every statement with the word blue is not automatically false. Or at least one of the statements is true. Okay, let's assume the top on this is false. One of these has to be true. These corroborate each other. And these contradict each other, so this really tells me nothing. How do I tell that? I'm just gonna open this and hope it's right. That was a guess. An educated one? I don't know. I don't know how educated it was. I know it wasn't in the white box. Does that count? Like term Arifa out of my mouth. Imagine if I'd gone in there before there. Oh no. We got some learning to do. The Curse of the Black Bridge. The legend of Blackbridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm, for versions of the tale have been passed down from generation to generation. With each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over the years more colorful, more verbose, and as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of combining and binding this tale to the text seemed an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I have heard dozens of variations of the legend, and while details would often change, I was surprised by how much of the story's heart remained the same. Oh, it's a long one? Let me turn the music off then. Yet, the more I listened, the clearer it became that there could never be a definitive version of this tale capable of capturing all the wonder and myth of Blackbridge. In the end, I chose to write down what I felt most authentic, the story my grandmother told me as a boy long ago. Part 1. The Berry Picker from Oris. Oh, this might contain information for us. I don't even have my notes up. That's how tonight's going. Blueprints notes. There we are. I want not you. You. Oris. Okay. It's the longest read in the game. Am I really committing to reading this out loud? Holy. Ugh. It's gonna be really boring for you guys if I don't. Many years ago, before peace had been a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues so wayward that the locals deemed it appropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst in a time when society was at its worst, and for each crime that fearful travelers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise, high road robbery. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost two brothers at war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind a churchyard, relying on the nourishment of scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyways to sustain his pitiful existence. It is not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take any easy road out, an easy and well-traveled road paved with temptations, leading out of the city and into the gentry lands where loose purse strings entwined with the strands of salvation and glistened equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jesper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviors, a notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. I'm gonna take a picture of this. I feel like that could be relevant. It could not be. Just in case. Despite the hardened circumstances that had led him to this vocation of banditry, Jasper was surprisingly tender-hearted and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jasper was assigned the innocent role of berry picker. It was not just innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of the night's concealment. Jasper was no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he worked alone that he alone worked while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. On one such occasion, Jasper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set into the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jasper could reach the furthest berry patches without worrying of being chastised for tearing upon his return. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way Jasper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and bereft of berries, so one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jasper was patient, but even patience has its limits. He was confident that even accounting for time lost to his long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pains. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jasper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as numerous as the stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had reined his senses, Jasper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of this newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates. Is that right? Yeah. Who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute the success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jasper set off to fill his basket, but was making steady strides in this task when the sound of thundering hoofs interrupted him. A carriage is approaching. The thought of it made Jasper freeze. Sorry. A carriage is approaching? The thought of it made Jasper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he had neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept towards the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. I need a sip of my tea. How are we all doing? It was only a moment more before the sound source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jasper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around the corner of trees, led by 2 beautiful white horses, and conveyed by a stern-looking driver. Cozy good. Seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jasper had ever seen. It was not just any carriage, it was a royal carriage. Even without ever having witnessed such a sight before, Jasper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jasper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proved unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effect that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. "You, boy! Get out from behind that bush!" he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. "You startled me half to death coming around the bend of my own drive, and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not to be any face." Jasper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behavior, not dashing through the bramble and mud. I was picking berries." Jasper raised the half-filled basket up to allow the driver to see the proof of his words. The demeanor of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jasper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expression on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Any suspicions that the driver might have instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expression even made allowances for a smile. Berries, eh? Say, you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy. Jasper took his cue to finally step forward, out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. I know, and what luck I found them. I have only just begun picking, and look how many I have. It would have taken me fourfold the time back home to produce this number. The driver bent down for a closer look. And where is your home? Boy, it must be quite far. Jasper replied from a scripted response, a little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods. My God, that is far. You couldn't have come all that way only this morning. It was true. Tanner Fork was the exact opposite direction that Jasper had traveled, and while that response seemed perfectly reasonable in a location closer to Blackbridge Canyon, he could see why it must seem less believable here. Sir, I have traveled much farther for much less profit. I dare say there is no distance made by man that would not be worth undertaking in prize such as these. Surely you have tasted them for yourself, Jasper felt happier with this response as it seemed to amplify the man's smile. In my youth often, but perhaps I took it for granted because I had never had to travel very far, and even then my father would always drive us here in our carriage, so I'm ashamed that I never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward. It was Jasper's time to smile. Then let my efforts reward us both today. He raised the basket even higher. A taste in memory of your youth, sir. The driver chuckled and moved one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket. At the moment his fingers touched the first berry, the dagger in turn met his throat. Jasper! You could have just given the man berries and went on your way. Cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood, Jasper caught the man's startled eyes. And for that taste, I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth. The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged in this particular time. Jasper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause, though I admit the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me. Unable to find the purse in the man's coat, Jasper pivoted and searched under his seat. Why have you no purse upon your person? The driver slowly raised his hands cautiously, pointing towards the carriage door behind him. Jasper lowered the knife's edge a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did in turn softly. There's a lockbox in the carriage. Well, come down then, and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands, a concession I assure you of my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat. He is not a nice boy. The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jasper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jasper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smile and kindness Jasper had seen on the man's face now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes displaying no emotion. I wonder, should I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jasper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it, secured the final bindings, then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there is no lockbox, there will be no clemency. Inside the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished golden facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed a passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jasper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested on their carriage's back seat, a large wooden lockbox. Morty. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jasper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out into the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, 2 observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all 4 sides of the box hinted that the box was very old, likely not created by Arindian hands. 1 second. Okay, so it's a very old story when this was still Orinda Aries. It reminded him of artifacts from the old world and was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Ooh! Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock and would not open easily without a key. Jesper looked over to see the driver quietly observing from his indentured position. Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box? Without emotion, the driver replied, There is no key to that box. Jesper stood up. Easy enough, then. He headed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered the rusted lock. He bent back down and opened the lid. Inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised by how heavy it seemed, given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold or gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver's smile once again returned. You are cursed, boy, for deadly is the stone. You have opened that which never should have been opened, and you are cursed. I'm going to take a picture of this box. 'Cause we should never open it then if we see it. We will put it here. Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. What is it? That's one. Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. One what? You mumbling Agentor? And in God's name, why have you no purse on your person? The man did not seem intimidated. One pace. He paused for effect. 12 more and you will be dead. He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If there was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Jesper looked down at the sculptured stone figure now splattered with red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had of course heard stories of curses and had never doubted their validity in the past, but now he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed. His mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could maybe live for another 3 or 4 days, maybe more given the abundance of nearby berries. A plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do, to be discovered here? Beside a body, stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries, and raving about a curse that could very well not be real. No, it would most certainly be better to face one's fate now, take a dozen paces and see if life goes on. But Jesper found his legs unable to make that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limbs to waste away 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling the desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked about for his solution. And, if by some stroke of luck the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him, as if he found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of golden trim were beside him, the answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4, perhaps only 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey to see if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be of some value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task too great to chance, and so after a profound breath he took a second, third, and fourth steps, though they were quite large. Seated now beside the horses, he reached for the reins and suddenly realized that he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. If, on the other hand, the story was fictitious, there might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox, whose typical function oft secures objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jasper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand to let go. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. And if I die, what care have I? And with that statement said aloud to the horses, seemingly, Jasper took up the reins with confidence. Part 2: The Black Bridge. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her with such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered she was on third watch today. Quietly collecting her things and wits, Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful to not wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked towards the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. Above her, one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered a braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn, Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for maneuvering in this tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as the water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring, noisy of a joke, and had the others been around they would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted sound. But Miller appreciated the efforts Ravia took to verbalize the silence of the morning. They had been on third watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy never. That bridge looks familiar. I'm just saying. Okay. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealment entrance of the cavern, as well as a clear view of the bridge that was spanned across the canyon. Black Bridge was the link between the gentry lands of the northern mountains, the overpass that connected Orris and Reddington. Take a little picture of that. To the city-faring travelers of the realm, the bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travelers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farmhands and bricklayers, but to a cabin-house bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, nor to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, subtly shook her head in response. There were many signs that the unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary. Gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their month among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long until Miller, too, heard the sound of an approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later 2 men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in familiar uniforms, long gray coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. They belonged to the local patrol, the Blackguard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Blackbridge wasn't an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveler's impending passage across the bridge, information the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the unholy hands, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard was nearby. The men had nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses, faintly at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravi's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expressions. This did not sound like a typical carriage. Instead, carriage. I keep jumping to the next line. Cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of the familiar crunch of the high road's gravel, they heard a harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had notched an arrow and drawn her bow. Go! Ravi was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing towards the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and both girls reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a Blackguard attack. Oh, but it must be Jasper, eh? The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She expected cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air without a trail. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such a rough terrain, yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. Third arrow was now in flight. There would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch. Slamming into an embankment, the force of this sudden halt immediately shattered the front two wheels and catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Oh, he should have just walked and seen if he was cursed or not. Down in the canyon, now they're all gonna be cursed. They're all gonna pick up that token. I know they are. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the unholy hounds came spilling forth from the earth, as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravia among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for gesture to convey what they both now realized. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Jeffrey Heartslasher, led the others cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspected fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. Oh, I'm taking a picture of the effigy. Can't quite tell what it's supposed to mean. Here. Miller was inconsolable. Jasper had always been her favorite. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child trails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted, she had always called him, the thought deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles of this cave, but he still had thorns, honed by a grim past and hundreds of hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he had treasured. The mysterious effigy had been found beside him, served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighboring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. Oh, Oh, that's the effigy. Interesting stuff. Miller woke the next day to a thunderous shaking and rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained her to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. The sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space around her. But even in alarm, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could be heard ahead, louder speech than she had ever heard spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave. Her eyes now opened despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed two bent fingers against Miller's cheek, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. Two bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began, blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Froderick Lee of the Blackguard looked down from the ridge of the canyon to the collapsed entrance of the cave. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. That's so messed up. They trapped a bunch of kids in a cave. At least arrest them or something. I think there were a lot of bad decisions made here. This way. Let me turn the music back on. I hope my reading was okay. Isn't over. Isn't over. Yeah. I don't have money for food. I hope everyone liked the story, even though it was sad. Wrap my last request and just let me hold you. What do I have? Lay down beside me. We haven't done that yet. And I did say I wanted to learn something today. I think it's this one, right? All about your lies. Okay. It's the only thing we've got with numbers. The question is which. Like, we don't know which ones we're supposed to put in. We've got a proper periodic table here, so we know what everything is. But the question is, which mixture, you know? Just let me hold you. Put that one in. Wait, did I not start it? Whoops. Okay. So we need to figure out how to get half. Hmm. Something here. We're not gonna be able to read. I don't know if I have the stuff for this one yet. Doesn't mean we can't try. Is that stupid? It could be stupid. Yeah, it's stupid. Hmm. Do I have a sequence of numbers that I haven't used? Let me see. Where I belong. What is that number? I don't think that's right. I think I know what that is, and I don't think it's right. Yeah, no, that's not right. It's going to be a combination of 3 numbers. I kept running for a soft place to fall. I'm going to have to, yes. I don't remember. I don't know if Spiker's here. He might remember. I don't know if Pim's still here. Oh, really? Let me just get through these. Oh, it's important. These first really quick. Interesting. No, no, no. No, 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 no. Not there. Could try that. Yeah, we'll try that. Okay. Put this up first. What am I looking at? House directory. House history? And library? I'm not going back there just yet, if that's what you mean. Okay, let me have a look. No, that's not right. Does that have a number? No. Does it spell something? Let's start there. H. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. P U. Is that right? Yup. No, it's P U is first. H is number 3. P U S H. Push. This is it. We figured it out. Push. There is 5. Push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There. 1, 2, 3, 7. EU. Sorry. Yup. EU. PA. F. Is this not EU. PAFTE. RN. I. N. E. Something's not right. Issues in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push there. Six is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it EU? It is EU. Push there. E up after. Maybe not. I might have messed that one up. Push there. 1, 2, 3. How did I get that wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. EU? No, that's correct. PA. Push there. E up after. That's NE. After 9. Okay. Push there. E up after 9. E. Push there up. Did I mess that one up? What's 5 again? Push 3 up after 9? Did I add an E in somewhere? That's very possible. So do I just do 9 and then 3, or do I do all the way and then back? Oh, there we go. We did it. I don't know what it does. I added an E from the game menu. Oh, I said I wanted to learn something today, and we have. I loved you from the start. We got the grotto. huge! That's very exciting. Why is that? I gotta figure out why it's shiny. It could just be because we're here. Oh, I did not want that. Should not have done that. House history. There you go, day 21. What are we gonna do? Do I have anything here? No. Doesn't matter. Do I want to go in there? Yes. I'm so excited we got the grotto. Oh, wow. Okay, so this definitely is giving eye open. I know this. Oh, I know this. I have this written down. Where are you? Baby. I have most of this written down. Oh, whoops. Was that not right? Oh. It was deactivated? Did I do it wrong? No? Interesting. I wonder how we reactivate the admin key. This is off. Interesting. Most interesting. A microchip. Oh wait, what just happened? Oh, I see. That will only fit there. Hmm. I'll be waiting. So we need to look for something that shape elsewhere. Might not be in this room. I'm putting it back here for now. I wonder why that key's been deactivated. Hmm. I don't think we've seen those symbols before. But that's kind of that symbol, huh? Hmm. Did it fall in love? I think we might be reaching the limits of my brain power today. I think we might have previously reached the limits of my brain power today. I think that might be the day today, and I think that might be the stream. Sorry, I just don't have a lot of brain power today, everyone. stream. Hi, stream. Um. mm, Yeah, I think we'll just finish up for today. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I don't know if there'll be a stream tomorrow, but there should be streams the next day and the day after that. I'm really trying to keep to 3 streams a week if I can. Like minimum. But we'll see what happens. I hope everyone has a good day or night if whenever you're watching. If you're not following and you would like to be, you know what to do. See you guys later. Thank you.